Hello, everybody. My name is Garret Jones, and we are here with none other than Don Alio for the Simply Winning podcast. I am super excited because Don's not only a great golf instructor, he's also a really great friend to me. So thank you for joining me today. A little background on Don and his upbringing. He grew up in South San Francisco. He played collegiate golf at Stanislaus State. After that, he played professionally for 7 years. He started teaching as a PGA pro in 2003. He does private lessons currently at the Spartan Golf Complex at San Jose. I guess it's a San Jose State facility. Is that right?
That's right.
And, a big emphasis for Don is the positive development that he's seen through teaching golf and the benefits on and off the golf course from a physical standpoint, also from a mental standpoint. So thank you for joining me today. I'd like to hear a little bit more about when you first got those golf clubs in your hand. What was it like growing up in South San Francisco?
Sure. Thanks, Garrett. Thanks for having me. When I first got golf clubs in my hand was about age 10, but I did grow up the last of eight children, so six boys in my family, two girls. My dad was a firefighter. My mom was busy with the eight kids, and my dad played golf throughout my whole childhood, and he kind of introduced the game to me slowly. When I was 10, he started to he took me to a junior clinic at Harding Park golf course in San Francisco, and it was a 2 day junior clinic, and it was like hour and a half, 2 hours a day. And I saw the PGA professionals there hitting the golf ball, having a good time, putting us through some light drills, and I was hooked. And then over the next 2 years, from 10 to 12, my dad, which I thought this part was really smart. He would only take me to the golf course like once a month, and by the time the end of that month, with like when it was time to go back to the course, I was so excited,
Mm,
and I would go play 9 holes at Fleming, which is the course inside the Big 18 at Harding Park Golf Course, and I play 9 holes there. I'd go down, hit a bucket of balls, we'd leave, and a month later I'd go back.
wow.
And oh my gosh! So by the time, yeah, by the time I was 12, and we did that. I was just loved the game, could not wait. When I'd go play those 9 holes, I would like put on, a cardigan and a turtleneck and like a hat to look like Ken Venturi and Ben Hogan, and I'd go play. And yeah, so for whatever reason, I loved being out there, and my dad kind of introduced me to the game, stretched it out, and that's how I started.
So if you look back on those early days of you putting that club in your hand and taking those swings, is there something that stands out that you still carry with you today as a teaching professional when you're instructing others?
Absolutely. Like the love I had for the game was created by the way my dad introduced me to the game. So it wasn't just what I described. He also would take me when he played with his friends, and he played 2 or 3 days a week. He would take me with his friends, and in 18 holes, he would let me bring my a 5 iron, which was just a cut down club, like an old club of his, and I would take practice swings, you know, out of the way while they played. But then 2 or 3 times in 18 holes, my dad would say, "Donnie, go ahead and tee off," which
Mm,
meant I could go to the tee uh, and wait for them to putt out on the green behind me. As soon as they putted out, I could hit that 5 iron off the tee, and that was it, 2 or 3 times. So it was like it was just a little taste, and he would do that. Donnie, you want to go to the golf course? It wasn't every time. Go hit a ball. It was a little bit here and there, and so when I'm teaching, a big thing for me with my juniors is I want to develop a love for the game.
Mm,
That's what I'm doing.
right.
Right. So of course, with a 10-year-old, you know, I, what does that mean? That means that I teach them good technique so they hit good golf shots. And
Mm,
they hit good golf shots, they get this smile on their face. The ball's coming off the center of the club, and they love it. I also have fun. I keep it light. So
right.
I teach them technique. I keep it light, and I think it makes them come back. They want to come to the golf course, and they want to come to the Spartan Golf Complex, the golf facility, or the golf complex,
Mm-hmm.
and practice.
Well, and something I've gone out there a couple of times with you, and something that I enjoyed while spending time with you out there was the laughter, right? It was fun. We could relax and have a good time, and the cues that you gave me worked, so not only it just wasn't too serious, and I always appreciated that about the time I've spent with you while golfing. Did your dad kind of have this same approach with your brothers and sisters, or was it different with you? Did he learn something as you're the last of eight children? Do you think that that played into kind of your development in those early days?
I think so. I think it had to play into how he introduced me to the game. My brothers, so my five older brothers, or four oldest brothers, I should say, that my oldest brother didn't play sports. My next brother, he was very athletic. He was a great baseball player, very good athlete, pitched in college at University of San Francisco. Then my next brother was a great athlete, even better athlete. So they all played sports. Baseball, we were a baseball family. Like we went to
Mm-hmm.
the park, all the boys played baseball, and I grew up playing baseball. My dad grew up playing baseball in San Francisco. Uh, at he would tell me he told me stories how there was baseball fields on every corner, and every kid played baseball. He loved baseball. He coached my brothers in midget leagues and so forth for 15 or 10 to 15 years. So I don't think he really had the experience of he introduced golf to the other siblings, but he did not. I was kind of the first one who really took an interest.
Right.
So did it have an effect on him how he interacted with my brothers and sisters? I'm sure it did. I don't know if he planned to,
Right.
uh, you know, spread out how he introduced me to the game, or if it just happened. But I thought it was brilliant. It's a very has a very big impact on how I spend time with junior golfers and develop them.
Right. That's amazing. And really cool that you got to have this different kind of special relationship with your father that your brothers and sisters probably didn't have because they didn't spend as much time with him on the golf course, which was, I'm sure, a place of enjoyment for both of you. Um,
It was the best, and it was kind of a numerous things coming together. My dad retired as a firefighter when I was in sixth grade.
mm,
He started working at a golf course as his retirement job. He got me a job there when I was 12. I worked at the golf course 5 days a week. He did too. We played golf every day after work. So it was like this multiple things coming together
right.
to influence how my game developed, and really how my relationship with my dad developed. So my golf is very tied in with my dad and
Right.
how close we were.
Yeah. Yeah. That's beautiful. Let's give something to the listener who is a beginning golfer in the Bay Area and wants to get out there and play golf and doesn't just want to hit the range. They want to go play with their friends. What are your top three courses that they should get started at?
So Bay Area is a very big place. So I could jump from San Francisco to the 9-hole course that I grew up learning to play was called Fleming, and it's a 9-hole course at Harding Park Golf Course. I highly recommend that course. It's a fun, short course and a great place to learn. I think if you're in the San Jose area and you want to get out on the course and you're a beginner, I recommend Rancho del Pueblo. It's a short 9-hole course and a great place to learn. I have a lot of students who go there. They say it's not crowded, and so they can get around and play in like an hour and a half. I have students who are members at private clubs who just go there because it's easy. Like it's easy as far as it doesn't take much time. It's not too crowded. It's not too challenging. That's where they started. And then as a beginner, if you wanted to kind of go a little higher end, you might go down to the Hay at Pebble Beach and play. That would be fun. It's a very short course, so it's not going to overwhelm you with being difficult. And then I know that's three already, but I'll say go to Sunken Gardens in Sunnyvale.
Okay.
Fun place to learn. I've gone there with friends who are just starting, and you just put a couple clubs in the bag and go out and walk 9 holes and hit it. You don't have to be good. It's a beginner's course.
So let's suppose, I mean, I might as well be this person who is new to golf or really trying to hone down on something specifically that I need to work on so that I can make consistent contact with the golf ball and therefore start enjoying golf. And I come out to see you there at the Spartan Complex. What's the first thing that we're going to address?
We're going to teach you how to hold the golf club. So, the most important thing, the only thing that you have to do perfectly when you learn golf is how to grip the golf club.
Mm,
So, your hands are your connection to the club and your connection to the club face. The club face controls where the ball goes. So, it's a direct connect. If you hold the club properly, you can control the club face. And like I said, the club face controls the direction of where the ball starts.
mhm.
So that's the first thing. That's the starting point. And I'd say it takes patience because getting your hands on the club, there's a process. I used to teach beginning and intermediate golf at San Jose State, like for the kinesiology department. And so we had a whole process we went through to learn how to hold the club. And it takes time and it takes patience. But if you just grab the club and randomly place your hands on it, you won't be able to control the club face. The ball will not go where you want to. And if you grab it differently each time, the feedback, like, oh, I hit one left. Now I'm going to try and hit one right, but you're moving your hands around. You can't control the
Do
club
you have
face.
a
So
funny
that's number one.
Do you have a funny story about somebody coming to you who's played golf before and you go to correct their grip and you said patience and obviously it's probably why I'm terrible at golf because I don't have any patience. But you have any stories that you could share about moving someone's hands on that golf club and the difficulties and maybe breakthroughs?
So as far as a beginning golfer, if they come out, first thing I'm going to address is their grip. You have to learn to hold it properly. If someone has experience playing golf and they have a grip that I wouldn't teach them if they're a beginner, but they have control of the face that they've, played the X amount of years and it's the golf clubs in their hands, so they have some sort of control. And this is where I think it's the art of teaching.
Mm,
I have to decide whether I'm going to change their grip or not, because if I change their grip, to what I would say is a technically sound grip, but they're not used to it, then it could be a disaster.
mm-hmm.
Right. So this is a conversation. My lessons are conversations. I think of teaching as a team event. It's not me dictating what they're going to do. So through conversation, I can learn or get a feel for what's best for the student. And sometimes I change the grip, sometimes I don't. Funny story. I think this is funny. I have a student. He has a friend, and and he'll come out and practice at the complex with her. She's very athletic and can hit the ball very well occasionally, like 10% of the time. And she doesn't want to change her grip, like does not want to do it. And so it always, the caveat is always just going to come out, take a lesson, don't touch the grip. But I don't know if this is funny, but I think it's funny because like 10% of the time the ball's not going where you want, but you don't want to change your grip. Um, I changed the grip yesterday of someone who is a 5 handicap because it was up in the palm and it was flopping all over the place. The golf club was not, he was not able to control it. And we decided it would be best. So
Pretty amazing that someone can get to a 5 handicap with a flaw like that, right? That's pretty impressive. As a, they probably have some good athleticism to be able to put their body in the correct position.
he was a very good athlete. Yeah, very good athlete.
So I'm going to pivot from golf for just a second because I know you personally, and I know that meditation and yoga are a big part of your physical regiment and your mental regiment. And I just want to hear. I think it's been a number of years now that you've practiced regularly. What do you see as the greatest benefits of? We can start with meditation and then move to yoga.
Greatest benefits of meditation.
Yeah, for you.
The biggest benefit to meditation for me has been not identifying with my thoughts. This is one of these things, and I feel like I have a number of practices that are hard to explain to someone unless they practice. But I'll give it my best shot. What I found was that I identified with my thoughts throughout the day. So if a thought popped in my head, I thought that that was reality. And I believed that all the thoughts in my head were the truth. And in large part, that's how I live my life. Like I get up in the morning and the first thing I thought about, I would go with that. And then the next thing I thought about, I'd go with that. And then I'd make a list of things to do and I'd do that. And unless halfway down the list, say I had 7 items, halfway down the list, I thought of something else. And to be, completely honest, I was really struggling mentally with ruminating, meaning not only did I have these random thoughts that I had identified with, I would have negative thoughts and I would ruminate on those thoughts. So, say in a personal relationship, I didn't feel like I was being treated as I deserved, which might just be a random thought that I thought of.
Right.
I could run with that for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I could get stuck on things. So I found that there was a correlation. Like so, when I started golf, played golf, developed my golf game, played professionally, that obsessive drive was very powerful. It got me to be pretty good, pretty fast, and kept me going. Well, now I'm not playing professionally. I have these thoughts that I identify with, I'll say over identify with, that I think are reality. So I sit down every day. And obviously, like I'm passionate about meditation because it changed the course of my life completely. I sit down in the morning. And this is how I started. And really I've been a daily practitioner for 7.5 years. I sit down. It started as, breathing, attaching to my breath. And then what I do is I would watch for thoughts. A thought would pop in my head. I have a podcast with Garrett today. Next thought would pop in my head. I want to change the grip of my student at tomorrow at 11. I'm just kidding, but it could be random. Or
Mm-hmm.
I really like this restaurant. It could be anything, and it's
Yeah, they
just
just
so
go.
they just go. So the thought would come in, and the way I would picture it was as a leaf on a river. and I would just watch it go by, and the thought would go away. And then another thought would pop in. I'm going to play golf next Tuesday. Yeah. I need to go to yoga. And I'd watch them. And then I realized that they were random events that popped into my head that I was treating as reality. So
Mm-hmm.
then when I would get a negative thought, my sibling didn't call me back. There's certain things that kept coming up. Then I could recognize that as just a thought and let it go. And I no longer ruminated. Changed my life.
Right.
Because the rumination led to me uh, not feeling good, and I didn't want to feel good. And again, in a an effort to be completely honest, not feeling good all the time made me do things that I to feel better that I don't think were beneficial to me.
Yeah. What I hear you really talking about is practicing like non-attachment to
Absolutely,
these thoughts.
absolutely.
But isn't it the thing that I find so miraculous is this rumination and this obsessiveness that was such a big asset as you as a golfer, um, ends up biting you in the ass later, and you have to do something about it.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, it did. It did.
and
Took a big bite.
we've had many discussions about meditation and these practices, and yeah, I think it's amazing how far you've come with it, and just how I've seen you progress. It has inspired me personally to do more meditation because I've noticed the change in the way that you show up for others and in your life for yourself. So awesome. I hope that anybody listening tries to meditate. I hear a lot of people, what do they say? They always go, can't do it. I never, I hear that all the
Yeah,
time, right? Anytime you bring
yeah,
up
for
meditation, there will
sure.
be someone in the crowd that's like, I just can't do it. It's like, oh, you just have to sit there. Like it's really not overly complicated. You can. But that's another topic. Let's go back to golf. And if you could only play one course for the rest of your days, what course is that and why?
Harding Park Golf Course in San Francisco. It is it's where I learned how to play. It's where my dad learned how to play. My dad started caddying there in 1935. So he was 8 years old. And my grandfather, who had already passed by the time I was born, also played golf there. So that's where I learned. Spent I worked there from the time when I was 14 to 18. I've played there more than any other golf course. I love that golf course. I'd like to mention that. So when I was in high school and working there, and then it was the most incredible place that I could ever imagine. And also why I love the game. It was a very diverse golf course. So we had people of all socioeconomic levels playing there. We had members from San Francisco Golf Club, which was a very elite golf club for the wealthy. We had, taxi cab drivers. We had guys sleeping in their car. We had members of the Olympic Club, another very uh, nice private club in San Francisco that's hosted major tournaments. And we would have these putting contests in the putting green. And and we have a leader of industry with someone who slept in his car. A guy would come up in his limo that he was driving, dropping off people, get out of the car, come over and putt with us, and we play this game, Don't Be Short. And it was incredible. And then every day you could get a game. You could go there, you could just see someone, you could play, you could have a competition, and it didn't matter what there's it was just very diverse. It's similar to where I grew up in South San Francisco. There was all kinds of different ethnicities, and at Harding Park we were all one. We just played golf. It didn't matter what part of the city you lived in, didn't matter if you lived in South City. uh, it was just golf, and
Mhm.
it was like coming together under this one umbrella. I love that place. It's a great golf course as well, but that's what really got me as a kid experiencing that, and that's where my dad taught me like we're all the same.
Yeah, you can hear your passion and the way that you live your life. You live it like that. That we're all the same, and it's interesting because golf is thought of as kind of an elitist sport, right? I have to have money to play golf, um, but it's such a beautiful game, and that kind of leads me into the physical and mental benefits of the game, and how you see the game as being maybe an extension of what life is, with ups and downs and highs and lows, and how it I believe it becomes this arena in which we can really work on ourselves and come out better for it, or all of our character defects and flaws we're dropping the F bomb for the entire round, and we come home and we're pissed, that's not the point. But I think a lot of golfers, just like people, they live in that state of this isn't working. So I said a lot there, but for you, what do you see as like some real simple things that an individual could do practicing in the arena of golf, and how those things could translate into them living a more content, happy, fulfilled life?
That's a great question. My experience in life was really I learned how to play golf. I competed. I played golf for a long time until I was 32, competitively, and my whole life was golf. And then at the age of 32, stopped playing competitive golf, and my game then became life.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So what did I learn from golf that I would could you suggest to other people who play golf, or as a way to enhance their life? Is that a fair
Yeah,
summary
that
of your
I
question?
think that's what I was trying to say.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, I'll start with one shot at a time. It's an amazing way to live life. Like I think of it as one moment at a time. So when you play competitive golf and you're standing over a shot, whether it's on the first hole or the 72nd hole of a tournament, you go through the same process, the same preparation, the same process. You breathe deeply, try and relax. You visualize what's going to happen. You step to the picture you've created in your mind. You hit the shot. You evaluate the shot. You let go of the shot. You go to the next shot. And the next shot, you do the best you can. And that to me is like directly like if I can do that in life, if I can do the best I can in the moments that I'm in, and then move on, I'm good. The opposite of that is rumination. So
Right.
if I was playing professional golf and I hit a bad shot and I let that bother me for the next three shots, and then that made my game worse, and then those three shots bothered me for the next three shots, then it'd be a disaster. And so I found that direct connect between golf and life. If I live life the way I play golf, I'm good.
Right.
I'm good. Uh, if, as
You
far as learning golf, and for a beginner, or even people come to me play golf their whole lives and are not happy with their game, like having a process, uh, being diligent with it, doing it to the best of your ability, not being in the results business. That's
Mhm.
very hard. That's
I
very
love
hard
that.
for most people.
Yep.
Uh, so not being in the results business kind of comes after uh, letting go. So you hit the shot, you have the process, you go through it every time. You hit the shot, you let go, uh, and the letting go is a big one. And then not in the results business, which for me means that I focus more on the process, and that carries over to everything.
Yeah, I think you that was beautifully said, and the translation from, if I could live my life like I practice out here on the golf course, these habits and these things that I do, right? The letting go is huge, right? How many times have I played golf with somebody sitting in the cart with them and all they do is talk about their last shot? This happens frequently,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And
Every
and this carryover where if they could just go out to the golf course and practice letting each shot be each shot and then moving to the next shot, their life would change. And they would less rumination, they would be free.
the
It's
enjoyment of the game goes like straight up
mhm,
uh if you play golf the way I just described.
absolutely.
I
So
mean, it's such a beautiful game,
mhm,
such a great game. But if you attach to the results, it can just be a nightmare. It can be like,
probably
why did I fly? Why did I go on a golf vacation in this beautiful place to just be miserable the whole time, right? So it's like that's what. So golf can be a great game. I think there's a lot we can learn about how to go about playing to enjoy the game, and
yeah.
that's it's such a fun game.
Well, it made me think of when I talk to people about golf and it's about Garrett's golf game. I say these two things, right? And I love talking about myself, like most people, but these two things almost always come out of my mouth. I can smash the ball when I hit it right, and my short irons, I can hit them as far as a lot of really good players. And the next thing out of my mouth is, I can't shoot under 100. And this is on repeat, right? So it's exactly the way you described it, right? And the focus of my brain is I can't break 100, and it's the detachment from that. And so I think you put that amazingly well. I'm glad we touched on that. I want to ask you if I don't know if you coach to this or if you do it yourself, but a mantra while you are hitting a golf ball is, do you coach to that? Do you have one for yourself? And what would that be? And just share your thoughts on that.
When I'm hitting a golf ball, so actually when I'm swinging, or a mantra around the game.
Just a mantra, maybe while you were out there, that keeps you centered, or something. I've heard this, that you can only have one thought when swinging the golf club to have a successful shot, because too many thoughts, I'm going to move my body the wrong way and something bad will
For
happen.
sure. Absolutely.
So I just wanted to carry that over to a positive mantra or something that I could say that may allow me to hit one shot at a time, or be in this great mental space that we just spoke about. What would that look like? And do you talk to your students about that?
I do talk to my students a lot about what you said about thinking about one thing while you swing. So the the evidence that I have come across is overwhelming that you can't think of more than one thing in the amount of time it takes for a golf swing and execute more than one thing. So say I'm working on keeping my right arm connected to the side of my body as I turn back. If I then think of transferring my weight to my left foot to start the downswing, they both, I mean, maybe I get my right arm on there, but I don't have time. My brain doesn't have time to then shift to the left. Right. So the way I think of it is like my thoughts crisscross, jumble up, synapses don't connect, and I can't execute. So one thought, I talk about that every day, probably in every lesson. Let's think of one thing. I say most people, but I have to do seven things. How am I going to think of one thing? So there is a way to do more than one thing, but the only thing, you can only have one thought to give you clarity. What I found, my best performing rounds were always when I pictured the target in my mind. So I'd standing over a shot, I look 170 yards away, I see the red flag flickering. I look back at my ball. I picture the red flag feels like it's right in my frontal lobe. and then I swing picturing the flag. So I'm target oriented. And I've played the best golf I've ever played
So it's
thinking
not
of
your
that.
body. That's interesting. That it's not your body. That it's the target.
So also there's a lot of research that external cues are much better than internal cues. Your internal cues would be your body. Turn the right hip, keep the arm connected, press into the ground with your left foot. So external cue is always better. Now, if you're practicing on the range, like if you're practicing on the range, you're going to work on internal cues unless you can find a way to do what you're doing with an external cue. Because again, that would always be better. So, so I'm going to say two two things I do. I either picture the target or I think of one swing thought,
One swing thought or picture
one
the
swing
target.
thought, and it could be whatever I'm working on at the time. If I think of two, it's like an explosion. Yeah, nothing good happens. It's not just me. When I say me, I'm in large part talking about like me, my students, golfers.
Overall concept.
It's all about setting the table in golf for performance. And we don't decide how our mind thinks. What we do have to go along with how it works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we don't have a choice. What is the mind is not trying to come into harmony with the truth. It's trying to come into harmony with itself, and that's a Michael Singer quote. And so what the mind is doing is not based in reality.
That's really good.
I
That
want
is
to
really
I
good.
want to finish up our discussion talking about the time that you spent caddying on the PGA Tour, the last couple of years. And one thing stands out from our conversations about that, and it is when you saw the players practicing and the sound and that sound of them striking a golf ball, best in the world striking a golf ball, was like a symphony. And I still remember you saying that to me. And you take it wherever you want to take it in terms of what was your experience like out there, but just share a little bit of that experience and what that meant to you and what you learned from it.
So in 2024, I went and caddied in 5 events for a friend of mine, and I hadn't been out on tour caddying for a long time. I went. I did go to some events just to watch. Going back to the story you're talking about is when my friend was a rookie on tour in 2011. We were at an event called the Greenbrier. It has this beautiful long range, grass range. The Spartan Golf Complex actually reminds me of how that practice facility is set up. So it's 50 yards wide, all grass, and I'm standing there next to my friend as he practices, and I hear this sound, and it's just the golf club compressing the golf ball and creating this sound that the I think of it as just this most solid sound. It sounds, this is the term pure in golf is this sound. And there's 50 guys, and they're all hitting the ball, and they're all making the sound. And it's one person hits and another person hits and another person hits and another person hits. And it goes this way down the range, and then it goes back down this way. And it was like a symphony it was a symphony of golf shots. And I said to myself at this moment, this is a big thing in my teaching career for me, was I said, how are they all hitting the ball so solid, so straight, and so far? Like I had played, professional tournaments. Every time I played with a tour player, they always hit it like 40 yards past me whenever they wanted to, 40 yards past anybody really. And so I started watching their technique, and I noticed that as they went to the top of their backswing, they moved their weight to their left foot. They stabilized their left side, like very stable, almost looked like they pressed into the ground with their left foot, and it put a stake 20 feet into the ground, stabilized their foot, their leg, for rotation through impact, and then that sound, just smashing the ball, compressing the ball, hitting off the center of the face. So I saw they were all moving to the left side, creating a pivot point and rotating. And it's what tour pros, one of the things that they do so much better than everyone else. So that had a huge impact on my teaching. It was also just a beautiful moment.
Yeah.
On the PGA Tour, like I'm standing on the range. I always dreamt of being there, and I'm seeing this symphony.
Yeah, that's beautiful. What about what you learned from your experience this last year of being out there and caddying? What did you take away from that?
You have to love to play golf to play on the PGA Tour. So that might be obvious. It has to be a deep love.
Mm,
It's the travel. I don't think I know people don't want to hear about someone who, if they win first place, wins $1 million, talking about how tough travel is to play that much golf day in, day out, and practice that much. You have to love golf. Those guys are so good. They're incredible golfers. Most of them are very good athletes. So, one, you have to love the game. Two, you can't be in the results business. What I saw in my observation is if you're in the results business, it causes your body to change. It causes your body to constrict and and hurts your performance. So hard not to be in the results business. But the process I talked about earlier and the focus and letting go of the results opens up all of this good stuff. So you can be into the results because the results matter and your life depends on it, and so many things depend on your performance of the golf course, and that can cause constriction. And
mhm.
the what I saw was players constricted. And I can't talk. There are players. I'm a coach. This is my observation.
Yeah,
Obviously, it's from my filter as well. You can't be in the results business. So you love the game, do the best you can, let go of the results, do it again on the next shot.
good
Not the
lesson.
next day, not the next tournament, not the next week, the next shot.
Right now,
It's a fresh start.
right now.
Exactly.
Keep
Exactly.
practicing.
Right now.
That's a that's a
With
great.
without the urgency. Right now without the urgency.
Yeah, I want to kind of leave with this thought, which is as a personal trainer, when I did that before I got into selling real estate, I would go to these clinics with world class personal trainers. And this guy said that he worked with a lot of professional athletes, and his mantra to them was relax and win. Relax and win. And it's exactly what you were just describing with staying out of the results business and one shot at a time, and performance improves. And that probably carries over to our relationships as well.
I agree. I think that's a great mantra. Recently came across this saying, joy and competition. So competition's fun. And if I'm not miserable if I lose, the joy and the competition I think pair really well. So having fun, the joy of the game, and then getting a chance to compete, and the competition is fun. You're trying to do your best, and just putting it all together.
Yeah. So stay out of the results business, people. It's not good for you. Don, I absolutely appreciated our time together today. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule, changing the world of golf one swing at a time. Uh, Thank you everybody for listening. If you made it this far, I love you. If you didn't, I still love you. Make it a wonderful day unless you have other plans. Bye bye.